to the Russians alone. I mean, we sent it all over the world. Our troops, especially in the Pacific Theater, ate it. That was basically what they ate all the time. 90 million pounds to the Russians. Apparently, in like the 50s, Nikita Khrushchev said, you know, if they hadn't sent us all this spam, they might not have been able to feed their troops during World War II. So, a little weird canned kind of ham pork product, canned meat, may have won World War II. The Fed is trending on X, and I wasn't sure why, and I'm still not 100% sure why, although part of it is because of this building that they're renovating. They're supposed to be renovating one of the buildings at the Fed, right? And the other day, Donald Trump came out there with Jerome Powell, and they're talking about how the renovation of the building was kind of a little bit over budget, okay? First of all, the numbers on this are crazy. They wanted $2.something billion to renovate a building at the Fed. $2.1 billion. Well, this is $2.5 billion, but they're over budget by over $1 billion for one building. They're over budget over $1 billion for one building. $1 billion friggin' dollars for one building. This isn't even for building a new building. It's for renovating a building. What the actual F are they doing? If after a night of filling your rectum with vodka from a turkey baster, the cops find you changing a flat in the cereal aisle of a Piggly Wiggly and ask how much you've had to drink, and you say nothing, are you lying? Well, no. Now, if they had been asking, have you been injecting? You'd have to say yes, but they said, have you been drinking? Well, no, absolutely. Yeah, Lord Stanhope, absolutely not. In fact, you all can try to answer these questions. Stand by. The program will begin soon. A WNBA game got stopped in the middle of the game because one of the players lost their wig while they're playing, and they had to run off. And then some fan made fun of the player, and they had to run. And they kicked the fan out for making fun of a player losing the weave. Not the weave, it was a wig. Losing their wig. They had to have a timeout for the wig, a wig emergency. Which I'm like, why the F are you wearing a wig while you're playing basketball? But then yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, a game had to be stopped briefly because someone threw a big old green dildo on the floor. Someone threw a dildo out on the floor, out of the court. They had to stop the game. I don't know if they caught the person who sent the dildo, but the green dildo was on the court, and a large number of the players had no idea what to do with something of that shape, but that's okay. It happened, and then someone made this t-shirt or this meme, pay us what you owe us, which has a dildo on it. So that was fun. Hey, you know what the really good interrupt violence through community-based bystander training? Yeah, if the bystanders beat the fuck out of someone who's attacking somebody else, that would be great bystander training. They could send them to the MMA gym, you know, put them in an arm bar, smack them in the face a few times. Stop doing that bullshit. That would be the best community-based bystander training, but I don't think that's what he means. Anyway. And then the other one, they'll go back all the way to Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof's the other one, which, does anyone, okay, let me ask you something. A lot of you are right-leaning or on the right. Is there anybody in this, that you, anyone you know of, is there anyone that you know of on the right who supports or supported Dylan Roof? because I know everyone I can think of who's like, Dylan Roof, fuck that guy. He went out and murdered people in a church. Fuck that guy. But the left is like, oh, he was a right-wing extremist. Nah, he's a fucking asshole. Fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck Dylan Roof. Nobody gives a shit about Dylan Roof. Nobody claims him. Nobody wants him. He's an asshole. Okay? He's a little punk bitch asshole who killed a bunch of people in the church. Stand by. The program will begin soon. Reverend Robin Bartlett of First Church of Sterling, Massachusetts, uses John 1:14 of the Bible to justify why she brings her 11-year-old son to drag shows. This is what we're getting in the Rainbow Church. The Rainbow Church aren't exactly hiding. That's true. The Word became flesh and lived among us, and my body, your body, their bodies are home for the living God. That is why I take my 11-year-old boy to drag shows in the summer with my friend and fellow church leaders, Kate, and her 11-year-old boy. Especially if you're a man, bodies can be celebrated and played with. That's her message. What the fuck? California wants to let someone that is not related to your child remove her from school, him or her, enroll her in any other school in the state, authorize any medical treatment, including mental health services and drugs, without the parent's notice and knowledge or consent. Can you see where that might be a problem? This is not fear-mongering. I'm not being hyperbolic, she warned. These are unintended consequences, and it is terrifying. They are unconscionable or unavoidable. So that's one really bad California law that they're coming with. I can't believe. I'm just dumbfounded that they're doing it. Now this is interesting. That new mayor candidate, the leading Democratic mayor candidate for New York City mayor, Damme, wants cops to stop responding to attacks on Jews. And by the way, Jews in the New York City are victims of the majority of hate crimes. Not a plurality, but the majority of hate crimes against people in New York are against Jewish people. And you know, especially the religious hate crimes. Anyway, 345 hate crimes in New York City last year, more than all other minority groups combined, according to the New York Police Department data. Anti-Jewish crimes accounted for 54% of the 641 total hate crimes reported to police in the city in 2024. Since the beginning of the year, 60% of the 123 recorded hate crimes have targeted Jews, according to the New York Police Department. Well, Zohran Mamdani, the radical Islamist and leftist terrorist supporter, has proposed that New York Police Department not respond to hate crimes, instead that they be handled by social workers. Either this shifts resources away from responding to attacks on Jews and moves away from having law enforcement deal with those attacks, and instead has his political leftist allies deal with them by burying them. Right? Show. If I put something on the screen, or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Hey there, everybody. Happy Hump Day on the Morning Night Live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And welcome to the Dawg Knight Channel, or welcome back, most of you, because there's only one important story today, and that's all I really want to talk about, although there's plenty others on the docket, and that's it's National Happy Bacon Lovers Day. If you love you some bacon, put a 1 in the chat. I'll wait. Today's coffee is brought to you by the country of Switzerland. Greetings from Switzerland. My son was in Switzerland over Christmas last year, and he actually got to do some skiing and got one of those big old gondolas and whatnot. 1 in the chat if you love bacon. Just waiting. There's a few. I see it happening. Okay, you got if you don't love bacon, I don't know what to tell you, because I love me some bacon. Anyway, happy Wednesday, Hump Day, and we got lots of stuff going on. Although it's interesting, the trending topics these days tend to move away from news stuff, and it's kind of weird. I'm trying to figure that out on X, but there's plenty of I have plenty of stories and whatnot open, so we'll get into it after, of course, we say hello, how are you? That's the ELO song, and I can't remember the next line, but I think it's hello, how are you, something like that. Is that Mr. Blue? Which song is that? Does anyone know? What song is that starts, the ELO song that starts, hello, how are you? Here, let's look that up. I think it is ELO, how are you? Let's see if we can figure out what that song is. I'm just going to look it up. Telephone line. Oh, it's telephone. Oh, telephone line. Give me some time. I'm living in my life. Remember that song? You may not. If you're old like me, you remember it. If you're not, well, it's not one of those songs that gets a lot of play anymore. Although I got a feeling it'll be used in a movie sometime soon, and then it'll have its revival, because it's just one of those songs that kind of fits in. It fits in with movie themes, if you ask me. So there you go. Anyway, hi to everybody. First in the chat is JB. Whoa, what the hell is happening? Is AD taking the day off? What's the deal? And also, Lewis, you were so close. Louis. I sniped that, JB. I'm sorry. Well, no, JB is actually first. No, what? No, actually, if you refresh that or whatever, if you open that window again, you'll realize that JB actually did get first. You guys were close, though. Really close. Also, good morning, Blue-Eyed Scream, Resolute Germ, Ms. Wild Wolf. Let's see. I said Blue-Eyed Scream. Green Badger Outdoors. Willie is in the chat. Unacceptable Views, my other favorite Canadian. Donkey Punch Bandit, the greatest name on the internet. Attack Alpaca. Let's see, as I'm scrolling, is that looks like about it so far. A handful of people in the tier, 14, that's a little light today, but anyway, but 10 likes. That is the best ratio on likes so far. That's awesome. And also, good morning, Reaction Puerto Rico. My dear friend Carlos, what up, brother? Also, well, what else is going on here? Anything else? That's it. People have popped in the chat as needed, and 11 likes on 15 people, so that's good. Let's get into the fluff stuff first. By the way, I just found this, and I'll put it in the. Do I have a separate link for this? I probably don't. Maybe I'll save this when I start talking about news. But this is kind of some breaking stuff that is going to get people saying, "Oh, Donald Trump is just targeting black people." We'll get to that in a minute. Oh, I also need the holidays. I haven't put the holidays up here. Holiday calendar. Here we go. Holiday. Because I don't know what are today's holidays. I haven't even done that. I've done one. which is hump day, because it's always a hump day after Wednesday. Also, something interesting about the old hump day. Where's the happy hump day one? Yeah, hump. Oh, I see. It is there. Okay. And what happened to my most important? Oh my gosh, what happened to my most important? Is this it? Please tell me. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Hang on a second. I have to fix this problem. Good Lord. What is it? Whew. I almost failed you on this very, very important occasion. And I would be remiss if I did not fix it before I even got to that. So anyway, I know none of you know what I'm talking about because I'm sitting here mumbling to myself. So anyway, today is hump day, and no sign of Avocas Diabli. And it's funny, on the day that he's not here already in the chat, the hump day hashtag on X is nothing but humps. I mean, I was scrolling down. At least there are covered humps. Like, as I watch, this is hump day. Okay, there's her. Okay, she's like happy hump, it's hump day at last. Have a fabulous day, everyone. Someone named Tracy Lynn, which sounds like an 80s porn star name, but whatever. But then, but this is the cute one. This is so cute, and I'll give this one a separate, its own separate link. Only because I thought it was so cute. So look at this picture, and it'll take you about maybe 10 seconds, 30 seconds to figure out what it is. But this is a Halloween costume of this lovely couple, and I just thought it's so damn cute. Oh, you can't see it, can you? There you go. It's so damn cute. It might take you a minute to realize what it is, like this person says, but see if you can figure that out. It's kind of cute. Somebody's got to step out and ask PDawg weird questions. Oh, well, yeah. Well, it's not question days, but who knows what'll happen. Marty starts rubbing off the cave wall with a goat skin. What are you talking about? Anyway, isn't that cute? That's such a cute Halloween costume. The quarter and the gumball machine, and then they got a little gumball out of there. I just thought that was precious. Anyway, but like I said, on the hump day hashtags, other than that one, I mean, it's not, I can't even scroll up. There's a new one there that I can't even show you. Holy crap. So anyway, if you get into the hump day hashtag, you're going to see a lot of uncovered body parts. And apparently one of them got moved, and I almost scrolled up, and you would have been a face full of that one. So anyway, so beware of the hump day hashtags. They're in the links. Let's see. Is this one okay? Nope. Another one. Oh my God. I don't want to see that shit. Oh Lord. Okay. So anyway, you can, when I put the links out today, scroll at your own risk. I'm just saying. But the most important thing about today is, of course, it is National Bacon Lovers Day. And there's some great pictures of bacon, except I'm afraid to scroll in this just after seeing the hump day ones that changed. But yeah, lots of people showing off their bacon, and this is good. Warning, bacon pairs well with cigars, bad decisions, and zero shame. Oh, hell yeah. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Okay, and then see, back British farming, no farmers, no food. Oh, I see. But anyway, it's National Bacon Day. Oh, bacon maple chocolate chip scones. Holy Lord. I bet that's some fantastic bacon and chocolate. You ever had bacon and chocolate together? So at the Minnesota State Fair, which is coming up, I think next week. By the way, okay, let me just tell you something that happened. My lovely wife, Lady Boomer, says to me something to the effect, hey, you want to go see some of the blah, blah, blah. And I didn't hear exactly what she said. And then I found out that she had bought tickets to Nelly at the state fair, at the Minnesota State Fair this year. So we're going to go see Nelly, and I can't even remember who's coming with him. One of them I had no idea, and the other one I was like, oh, that's cool. So anyway, we're going to go see Nelly at the Minnesota State Fair. But this is at the Minnesota State Fair, One of the booths that's there everywhere, by the way, the Minnesota State Fair is the second largest state fair in the country. They have a huge fairgrounds in St. Paul. The only one that's bigger is Texas. Texas has a gigantic state fair. Well, so does Minnesota. And one of the booths there that's there every year, it's called Big Fat Bacon. It's just big, and they give you this bacon on a stick, about a piece of bacon about that long, and it's about that thick. It's like almost a half-inch thick. This big ass bacon. Oh, it's called big ass bacon. Anyway, something like that. And then they give you chocolate sauce to pour on it. And I'm telling you, if you've never had bacon with chocolate sauce, oh boy. What the fuck is Nelly? You don't know who Nelly is? Nelly is the guy that he was a kind of is he 90s or 2000s? It must be 2000s. Hip hop artist, but he sings too. He's a pretty good singer. And he was also in Adam Sandler's version of The Longest Yard. He was the guy with no shoes. Anyway, Nelly is famous for the song, "It's getting hot in here. Don't take off all your clothes. I am getting so hot. I'm gonna take my clothes off." That's Nelly. Okay, that's who Nelly is. And he did a song with Tim McGraw. He's kind of, because he's got a couple that have some country beats to it, and he's got a couple. There's other songs. I can't think of any other Nelly songs. And okay, here's what you do in the chat. Name some Nelly songs, because I know there's more than one, but I can't remember because that was so long ago. Anyway, oh, Ride With Me. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. So anyway, so we're gonna go see Nelly, and I can't. The one group I could name a song by them to save my life. I know there's this famous, 90s, 2000s rap group, but I have no idea who they are. And then I can't remember who's. Well, let's look it up. I got the internet right here. Minnesota. I can't even spell my own state. State Fair, Nelly. Okay, let's see. Nelly. Okay. Nelly with special guests Ja Rule, Maya, and Yin Yang Twins. Okay, Nelly, Ja Rule, Maya, and Yin Yang Twins. Now, Maya kind of is obscure. She's not a hip hop artist. She's more of a singer. Ja Rule, let me think about it. He did that thing with J-Lo. Something, the way you walk, the way you talk. Nah, no Busta Rhymes. And Yin Yang Twins. Yin Yang Twins is the one I'm like, okay, I'm racking my brain to think of any song by the Yin Yang Twins. Can't think of it out to save my life. But Nelly, Ja Rule, and Maya, I know all three of those. Okay, I know those three. Oh, Country Grammar, not Southern Grammar, Country Grammar. That was him too. Yeah, that was a good one. Busta Rhymes, Jack now he got tired of being taken seriously. Okay. Pickaxe Murders. Wait, that's the Cannibal Corpse song. Okay, no, come on. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa. Oh yeah, another man. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop. Yeah, that's Country Grammar. So anyway, all right. Hi, Midnight. Back at you, Buzz Wild Wolf. All right. So anyway, there you go. That's I'm gonna go see Nelly, Ja Rule, Maya, and Yin Yang Twins. Who see now, my wife would be far more in tune to all that shit than I am, but I remembered Nelly and Ja Rule mostly. So there you go. All right. Other holidays today. Now that I've completely taken that in. It's National Radio Day. Tune into National Radio Day. Celebrate the power of broadcasting with special guests, exclusive interviews, and music from around the world. Okay, quick question. Can you name the last time you listened to the radio? Because I can't. I cannot remember the last time I listened to the radio. I pretty much have my playlists. Well, not any playlist. I have videos going when I'm driving, or in the background, or usually got. But for one, my radio's not working right now in my truck. I got a fuse to fix because my amp's messed up. But anyway, if you can think the last time you listened to the radio, let me know in the chat. Also, National Bacon Lover Day. We already said that. Oh, wait a minute. Now, this is very specific. National Chocolate Pecan Pie Day. Now, I said pecan or pecan, however you choose to say it. In fact, I think how you say pecan or pecan tells you where you are from in the country. Why do mosquitoes? And then World Mosquito Day. Oh my God, fuck mosquitoes. Celebrate World Mosquito Day on August 20th and learn about the important role mosquitoes play in our environment and how to protect yourself from bites. Are mosquitoes important because they feed bats? Who? Oh my God, I don't know. National Mosquito Day. That's kind of dumb. Who needs that? Well, World Mosquito Day. World Mosquito. Maybe it should be World Protect Yourself from Mosquito Day so you don't get friggin' malaria. Anyway, I sub to an old timer radio channel, and every once in a while it turns on a murder mystery because I never shut the computer off. You know, I actually like the old radio shows that are like, you know, like mystery programs, or there's the book or whatever. Like I used to always, when I was a kid, there was a station in Omaha that played old shows like that. And so we would listen to The Shadow. We'd listen to old Superman stories. I mean, it was kind of cool, I guess, when you're a kid, because it's like, yeah, you could watch this on TV, but listening to it on the radio, they have to be a little more creative in how they describe things and how they tell the stories. So it was that, I don't dislike radio. I just haven't listened to I can't say that I've listened to the radio in the last 6 or 7 years of any form. I don't listen to the radio, you know. Either my son had, because when my son was in the car, he'd have his, the aux cord, whatever. So anyway, all right, enough of that. Moving on. This is kind of breaking news. Apparently, Trump is demanding Lisa Cook's resignation over federal mortgage fraud. Now, it's funny how they're finding all these people who are committing mortgage fraud. You know, the Adam Schiff, Letitia James, and now this person named Lisa Cook. President Donald Trump has demanded the immediate resignation of Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook amid allegations of mortgage fraud. The claims raised by FHFA Director Bill Pulte accused Cook of falsely designating 2 properties, one in Michigan and one in Atlanta, as her primary residence to secure better loan terms. This controversy, stemming from a criminal referral to the Department of Justice, highlights Trump's effort to influence the Fed's composition and raises questions about potential violations of federal laws. Now, I know what's going to happen immediately, because this is Lisa Cook, a strong black woman that they're going to accuse Donald Trump of being racist again, because that's, it's a daily occurrence. And look, as one who worked in that industry for a very decent amount of time, the mortgage industry, when people say something's their primary residence, we have to be accurate as mortgage lenders about that. And you cannot claim 2 primary residences, even if you even if you work one place and you have to live in another, you go back and forth. However, you can finance something as a primary residence if you have an immediate family member living in that property. So for example, you can as far as mortgage lending, as far as federal mortgage lending. So for example, if I own a home here in Minnesota and my, father lives in Omaha, let's say my father was still alive, and I could claim that home as a primary residence if my father is the person living in it, or if my son or my daughter are the people living in it. Immediate family member. That's the only way you can claim 2 primary residences as far as for mortgage lending. Now, if it's just your second home, it's a vacation home, it's a home you have because you live in Washington part of the year and you live in California part of the year, you can only claim 1 as a primary residence. So it'll be interesting to see if this is, that's the case here. Now, it's interesting because Trump federal housing director Bill Pulte issues bombshell revelation that Biden appointed Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook likely committed mortgage fraud. Now, the other part here, Donald Trump demanding a resignation now might be premature because they don't know, nothing's been confirmed. She hasn't been convicted. But Jerome Powell must look into it or he's complicit. Oh, good Lord. Mrs. Cook, why did you designate your Atlanta condo as your primary residence 2 weeks after declaring your Michigan home as your primary residence? That's a good question. She's claiming two residences with 2 weeks of each other. So anyway, and then he's been putting the stuff on the internet. I think these guys, they got to be careful with this. They got to be careful with this because again, let's say your mother's living in the condo in Atlanta. That's legal. So, and especially if you're accusing a black woman of fraud. Now, first Letitia James, and then this Lisa Cook, and then Adam Schiff, who is a proud black woman too. So you got to be careful. Only accusing black women of doing this. Anyway, good morning, Aaron Meredith. What's up? Got to prove it first. Exactly. Got to prove it first. That's what I'm saying. All right, moving on. What else is going on here? Meijer is trending. Now, this is an interesting story that I haven't gotten the full grasp of yet. But here's a lot of people are talking about Meijer. Meijer is it's a Midwestern family-owned superstore. They do food and they're kind of like a smaller version of Super Target, I think. Is that right? Anyone know what Meijer stores are? Anyway, they're kind of they're getting the business over this story, and I'll read this particular response to Meijer first. Dear Meijer, I've recently become aware of an incident involving a young man, James, previously in your employ. There has been speculation this young man has a disability. That withstanding, I must question your approach to this matter. Now, again, they're writing to the entire Meijer chain about this, and this happened in one of their stores. So, but anyway, so they're getting a bad rap over maybe one bad manager, and you'll see the story in a second here. Yes, theft does affect the bottom line. However, is it accurate the stolen items were to be discarded? Is it accurate James retrieved items to consume personally and not for financial gain? Is it also accurate that you are aware he was retrieving discarded items to consume daily, but rather than intervene in a supportive manner as a concerned employer, you chose to monitor him over an extended period of time in order for the value to reach an arrestable offense? And I'm curious why. Now, let me go down here to find someone who's actually telling you what the story is. And here it is. Imagine being this evil. Instead of talking to James, the manager watched him for months. And then when the throwaway food totaled up to $110, he had the 16-year-old disabled kid arrested. I hope James sues the crap out of this manager and Meijer. Also, somebody please wipe the smirk off this douchebag's face. I feel bad for James. He looks confused when the cops walk in. So here's what's happening here. Here's this poor kid. They're claiming he's disabled, which of course makes him untouchable because he has probably a self-diagnosed neurodivergence or something. Anyway, but that's irrelevant because it's a shitty way that this manager did it. Here's James when the cop walks in.
Hello. Hey. So we have James here.
Who's James?
Right here.
Right here? Okay.
He is he works in our deli department.
Okay.
And we found out that he's just been taking orders of chicken and fruit cups and stuff like that off the store
For 110?
Yep.
All right.
Now,
James, do you have anything on you need to be aware of?
Not
Don't reach for it if you do. Don't reach for it if you do.
Okay, so I have a Sharpie and...
Oh my God. He's a 6-year-old kid. Do you have anything on you? Yeah, I have a Tommy gun, 2 machetes, a battle axe, and a skateboard. I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. What do you mean? You're sitting there in a jacket. What? Come on, cop. Look, oh, this is so dumb. Let's continue listening.
A box cutter in this pocket. All I have in this pocket is my phone and my earbuds, and then in my back pocket I have my wallet.
Go ahead and stand up for me.
Okay.
All right, just go ahead and put your hand in the wall for me. I'm just gonna take everything out. We'll get it with it.
So, look, I can understand. Oh, Meijer's more like Walmart. Yeah, it's like that too. Like I said, it's a smaller version. Why didn't they just confront him the first time and still waiting till he accumulated $110 worth of whatever stuff he was eating? It's like, I mean, look, if I saw the kid doing it the first time, I'd say, look, you can't do that. I get it. It's going to be discarded, but you can't do that. But it is kind of a douchey move the way they did it. And who are these two idiots?
Like the box cutter, that's not Meijer property or anything?
That should be Meijer property.
Yeah, that is.
So then I can stay here with them.
Yeah.
All right. Anything in your shoes or anything like that?
Nope.
You want to put your hand in
Again, this is...
You can put your palms together and drop that. Put your palms...
So they had the kid arrested, a 16-year-old kid arrested for that. You know what? I'm all for obeying the law, but why not just confront him and teach him a lesson while he's actually involved in something that, it's like you could just say, hey, kid, look, I get it. We were going to throw this away and you were hungry or whatever. This is not okay. We can't do this. Please stop. That's all it would have taken. Holy shit. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable that they waste time with that kind of stuff. It's anyway. All right, let me fix this real quick. I'm just making adjustments here. There we go. All right. So a lot of people are just ripping on Meijer for this. You fire him, you dock his last paycheck, give him a bad reference, and wait a minute, and perp walk him out the store to warn other employees, but you can't wait until his debt hits $100 and have him arrested. Fire the supervisor, issue a public apology, Meijer. Yeah, I this is just, and lots of people ripping on them. I think they deserve to be ripped on. They absolutely deserve to be ripped on. These are the demons responsible for the arrest of a disabled teenager. Now, they keep saying a disabled teenager. Let's leave okay, if you want disabled people to be treated like everybody else, you can't bring it up when they do something wrong. That's irrelevant. What is relevant is this manager and these two employees that waited till he how many days did you have to get up to, how many days did you have to watch him to get it to be up to $110 worth of food? I mean, it's like he didn't eat $110 food in one day. Instead of arresting an autistic kid for eating $100 worth of fruit cups, Meijer Superstore, maybe you could have called his parents and have them pay for it. Embarrassing, heartless, without compassion. Nobody should shop there. Well, again, by the way, I'm pretty sure this is not Meijer's policy. This is one manager who decided to be a douchebag. Even the Right News Network, breaking, Americans are calling for a boycott of the retailer Meijer after body cam footage revealed the $15 billion corporation had a 16-year-old disabled deli worker named James arrested for taking just $110 of food over 3 months. Over 3 months. Why didn't they just confront him the very first time? You're a shitty manager if that's what you're doing. Holy shit. Oh my God. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. Everyone on the left and the right thinks that this Meijer's manager is a complete douchebag. That finally something the left and the right can agree on. I mean, oh my gosh, all these people. Here's the contact information for the prosecutor's office for the county this incident took place. Contact them and maybe we can get these charges dropped. And, you know, people ripping, this is corporate America in a nutshell. A $15 billion company destroys a teenager's future over $110 in fruit cups and chicken instead of showing compassion. This isn't just, it's humiliation. No, this is a manager to being a douchebag. Meyer should fire the manager for being a douchebag. That's where it should go. Easier to get him arrested than going through the paperwork of getting him fired. Maybe, but look, yes, it's easier to get him arrested, but you wait 3 months of him doing it? That's what I don't get. If he was stealing, like, you know, pallets of, you know, cases of Coke out the back door, you know, and did it all in one day and they caught him, yeah, then maybe have him arrested, right? But this is kid eating leftovers over a 3 month. They had to watch it for 3 months to get it up to $110 so they could have him arrested. What is he learning from that? Because paying for stuff is white supremacy. No. No, that's only true if the kid were black. This is a white kid, but disabled. But still, this is just, I think it's a douchey. Look, I've been managers of restaurants and stuff, and if I got an employee like sneaking a bite of food that we were about to throw out, I would say, hey, you know what? We don't do that. First of all, you don't know, even if we pull it off the line, you don't know if it's been sanitary, you don't know if it's been sitting out, whatever. And it's considered stealing. You don't want to be caught stealing. Okay, if you're hungry, let me help you out. You know, I'll comp a sandwich for you. But this is so stupid. I can't believe it. All right, I gotta move on. I could spend the whole rest of the day bitching about that one. All right, Ukraine is trending, and everyone on the left is very upset with Donald Trump and saying, I support President Zelensky and the brave people of Ukraine. Yeah, I do too, and let the European Union support them, and I hope they kick the Russians' ass, but it doesn't have to be on our dime. So there you go. Hey, literally every media outlet, it's not Ukraine and Russian war, it's Ukraine defending itself against Russian occupation and annihilation. Okay, yeah, and the Russians are taking it up the up the chute, getting their butts kicked. A lot of that. Reminder who Trump rolled out the red carpet for Putin. He called the U.S. a global parasite. Shot down a jet with 298 civilians. When was that? Oh my God! You got to bring that up. Admitted to U.S. election interference. No, he didn't. That's just the opposite of that. Yet Trump reveres him. Nothing suggests he'll put Ukraine over Russia, and that should horrify everyone. We don't have to put either over either. I don't give a shit about either of them. Either they figure it out, or let the European Union, all those countries that are right there, they'll deal with it. And if the worst comes to worst and something happens and we have to help by stepping in, well, yeah, of course we probably will if they get attacked. But right now, again, Ukraine is not a part of NATO, and nor should it be. Anyway, you know what I forgot to do earlier? I forgot to say thank you for the people sharing the stream. How about that? Where's the thing? What happened to National Bacon Day? Did I leave that? Oh, that's it. Okay. Thanks to the people who shared the stream today, by the way. Let's start with okay, first there was JB with a Let's Go on the with a Feed Me Seymour. Feed Me Seymour. From Little Shop of Horrors. And we got a little Kevin Bacon because it's Bacon Lovers Day, which Reaction in Puerto Rico followed my lead by putting Kevin Bacon on the GIF. Thank you for sharing the show. Ms. Wild Wolf with their own little tweet here, and a little where's the cat one? Oh, the cat one right there. Okay, let's go with the dancing cat. Got her daily wrestler from Resolute Germ. I don't know this guy's name either. Is this Coffee? Is that him? I don't know his name. But he's got that belt. So there you go. Let's see. JB's still here, PDawg. LOL, even though we clearly disagree on grocery stores. I am highly biased. Well, that's okay. Look, if you disagree with me, that's cool. That's your opinion, and I have mine, and we'll still have a beer later, and I don't, I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, get the fuck out of my stream because you disagree with me, Thank you, Green Badger Outdoors, with a, what is that? That's a whole different kind of baconator. Turn your ass to bacon. And then that's the cat again. Somnambule Nation will repost that. I've already posted all the other ones. With that, and then another older Kevin Bacon. There you go. More. Plenty of Bacon Lovers Day. And thank you, TC, also tweeting out the show, and all the people retweeted my post. I greatly appreciate it. That includes Somnambule Nation, Green Badger Outdoors, Reaction Puerto Rico, Resolute Germ, and JB. So thanks everybody for doing that. Greatly appreciate it. All right, back into the newsy stuff. So we already talked about Ukraine. Yeah, the left is just all pissed off about Donald Trump. Oh, another one of these emulate Trump accounts. Apparently this probably the same person from in the California Gavin Newsom crowd put up this Canada hates Trump. They are look, copying somebody is kind of a form of flattery. And so they think they're trolling Trump by doing this. Meeting with Trump at the White House, not even wearing a suit, don't need one, still smarter, stronger, more respected. Trump equals low IQ, weak, loser. Ukraine fights for your freedom. Trump fights for himself. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Vladimir Zelensky. Yeah, that's cute. Whatever. Look, I wish Zelensky were that strong, and him coming over and constantly begging us for help, which he can do that, whatever, but he needs to stay close to home. And look, if it turns into something nastier, of course the Americans will come in and help out. But look, right now, the Russians have lost estimated 1 million troops in this conflict. And I think they know they really can't do anything with nukes because everyone will be obliterated, be mad, mutually assured destruction. So who knows? I don't know. But here's Amy Klobuchar, the senator from my state. Let's see what she has to say. Something over 20,000 Ukrainian children have been abducted for their families. Hey, Amy, we have 300,000 missing children from the last 4 years of human trafficking across our border. Where are all those kids? We don't know. So, yes, it's sad. I hate it when they use children to make their point, just like the Palestinians do that. They try to maximize their civilian casualties and then tell you, oh, they're killing the children. Over 20,000 Ukrainian children had been abducted from their families. They are not bargaining chips. We must demand their safe return and pass my bipartisan legislation to help Ukraine's urgent work in bringing these stolen kids home. What are you talking about? Here she is. Thank you, Reaction Puerto Rico. I'll get that in a second.
Talk to these families. This is horrific. They thought they're sending their kids to a summer camp in a safe place away from the bombing, and they don't come back. Kids are abducted from war-torn areas as babies, and they don't even remember their Ukrainian culture. And so getting those kids back to the families would be the first step, and again, not part of a negotiation because...
Wait a minute. Did she just say... She said there's 20,000 kids. Let me start this over. 20,000 kids who thought they were being sent to a summer camp to get away from the war? What? Okay, let me hear this again. And if this is true, yeah, it's messed up.
Talk to these families. This is horrific. They thought they're sending their kids to a summer camp in a safe place away from the bombing, and they don't come back. Kids are abducted from war-torn areas as babies, and they don't even remember their Ukrainian culture. And so getting those kids back to the families would be the first step.
Do you know what she's talking about?
Again, not part of a negotiation, because what it would encourage around the world, the evilness of taking children from families. And
I'm confused. Do any of you know what the hell she's talking about?
And that is what's happened, and that is why President Zelensky's wife has embraced this issue.
20,000 parents, they thought they were sending their kids to summer camp to get away from okay.
Glad that Melania Trump sent this letter, and I hope that it highlights this issue. But as you point
that's
out,
terrible.
the tracking,
this is true.
The State Department stopped paying for that tracking, and they've had to use crowdsourcing to get it done. And Senator Grassley and I have a resolution, a bill, and the like to keep that going, or we're never going to find those kids.
Well, I'm glad she's concerned about the Ukrainian kids, and that's a terrible thing. And I hope that whatever they're doing is helping. I don't know why they put a picture of Melania Trump and Putin up there at the same time. That's dumb CNN. But I hope they have the same energy for the missing kids, that 300,000 missing kids that we have here. I really do. Hello, Shrapnel. What's up? So that's the weirdest one I've seen regarding Ukraine. I might not continue news today because whatever. Oh, Gotti is trending. Oh, by the way, thank you, Reaction on Puerto Rico, dropping a deuce in the tip jar via YouTube Super Chat, who says, it's not an older bacon. It's a seasoned bacon. The seasoned Kevin Bacon. I just saw him in another movie recently where he's like, but they made recently. I'm trying to think of what it was. Anyway, the word gaudy is trending because people are, they kind of got a point here. Jack White of the White Stripes basically coined the term gaudy. Look at how disgusting Trump has transformed the historic White House. It's now vulgar, gold-leafed, and gaudy. Professional wrestler dressing room. I can't wait for a UFC match on the front lawn, too. He's almost fully achieved the movie Idiocracy. Look at the disgusting taste. Would even be used by used cars. Wouldn't even buy a used car from this con man, let alone give him nuclear codes. A gold-plated Trump Bible would look perfect on that mantel wall, and a pair of Trump shoes on either side, wouldn't it? What an embarrassment to American history. Also, picture this photograph. A real leader of a nation in a black suit. Aw, a little salty there, Jack. It is kind of gaudy. I don't like the gold. I don't like the gold decor. And some are saying, "Oh, it's just like Jeffrey Epstein's home." Oh, whatever. Fuck off. Jack White's not wrong. Trump has turned the White House into a gaudy, gold-plated Victorian whorehouse. That's Bill Madden. He's a Trump hater extraordinaire. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the gold stuff, but whatever. I don't care. It doesn't change what we do in the White House. Good morning, Select Boy. Yeah, boy. All right, next. What else is trending? Stupid shit. Oh, slavery's trending. Okay. Now, what is... The other day, I was telling you how Trump has kind of asked the Smithsonian to, lighten up on the anti-American shit at the Smithsonian because, the 250th anniversary of the country's coming up. And, we kind of want to, at least put some of the good stuff that America does because they like to highlight all the bad shit, right? And now people are going to, and then immediately, okay, because the African American History Museum is part of the Smithsonian, there's a whole bunch of people on X saying that he was telling just the African American History Museum, okay, to, be less black or stop talking about slavery or whatever. And then he posts a post on Truth Social, which, you know, Trump's not the best with words, as we know. And so this is being spun as he wants to say that slavery wasn't that bad. He posted this: museums throughout Washington, but all over the country, are essentially the last remaining segment of woke. The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Nothing about success, nothing about brightness, nothing about the future. We are not going to allow this to happen, and I have instructed my attorneys to go through the museums and start the exact same process that has been done with colleges and universities, where tremendous progress has been made. This country cannot be woke because woke is broke. We have the hottest country in the world, and we want people to talk about it, including in our museums. Okay, one of those typical, just, you know, off the wall Trump posts, and whatever. But notice they highlighted just these lines as if it was, you know, and everyone's highlighting these particular lines. The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything is discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was. And now, if you only read that sentence, and a lot of people who are writing about this only wrote that sentence, okay, and he's not saying that slavery wasn't horrible. He's saying that everything in the museum is about how bad we are, and nothing about the success that we are. And museum curating is not my thing, and maybe that's the way the Smithsonian wants to do it. But everyone's taking this line as if it was the only line in the tweet and saying, we have slavery was so bad. Yes, slavery was terrible. It was a terrible institution, and a terrible institution practiced everywhere in the world. And the first countries to abolish slavery were Western countries: Great Britain, United States, Brazil. All these countries that initially benefited from the transatlantic slave trade, but all decided that, this shit's not a good idea, and we should stop it. So it's funny, we never get the country never gets the credit for being one of the first countries to end slavery, which was a terrible institution. And we forget that, oh my God, they act like we invented slavery in the United States. Now, of the transatlantic slave trade, we got a tiny percentage of it. I mean, not a tiny percent, but a small percentage of it. It's not like all of it came here. and then we decided to end it. How come that always gets forgotten? And the other part too is, yes, if you think the transatlantic slave trade was bad, the trans-Saharan slave trade in Africa dwarfed the transatlantic slave trade, and in some ways continues to this day. But also the Barbary slave trade, basically the Middle East, where they were stealing people from not just Africa, but also from Europe. In fact, that's where the word slave comes from, because the Barbary slave trade, which was stealing people from Europe, particularly the Slavs, where they would not only steal people, they didn't let slaves breed, so to speak, because they would castrate the slaves they stole and then enslave the women into their incorporate them into their societies through unwanted forcible sexual activities. So look, we can all agree that slavery was bad, but if the museum only focuses on the bad of America, why can't they acknowledge the good? Now, obviously they do with inventors and things like that. But I think that's Trump's point. Right now, we're thought of as just a nation of oppressors. And so now everyone in this thread, though, is only highlighting where it's, if you only read what's highlighted, you would think that he's saying that slavery wasn't bad, but that's not what he's saying. Gavin Newsom, Trump's GOP already called slavery a workforce development program. Now he's really trying to erase slavery from U.S. history. No, he's not. And that's just bullshit. But I'll tell you, anytime Donald Trump says anything, they take it completely out of context and twist it into their fever dream of what they think Trump is. Joe Walsh, slavery was bad. Slavery was bad. Slavery was bad. No shit, slavery was bad, you fucking morons. Of course slavery was bad, you fucking morons. If you stop reading at that point, yeah, then you're dumb enough to think that he was saying slavery wasn't bad. But, you know, again, Donald Trump's fault for being bad with words, whatever. But yeah, so now everyone's posting that famous picture of this guy with the welts on his back. Yeah, we know that slavery was bad. Uncontroversial fact, slavery was and is bad. Nobody's claiming it wasn't, dumb shits. And again, everyone highlights that one line. To be clear, this was pro-slavery rhetoric from the current president. Bullshit. But again, as Joe Biden said, they're going to put you back in chains. They're going to put you back in chains. Holy fuck. These motherfuckers. It's amazing. Thank you, by the way, some more people sharing the show. Kashel, Kirsten, what up? Thank you. Swamp Fox Ghost, appreciate y'all. It's just, you know, the twisting of the words is, it's funny because that's what they think about. The people who are going to twist those words, that's what they want it to be. Also, I got a DM here from Ms. Wildwolf. What is this? Ukrainian children abducted by Russia and then returned are speaking out. Oh, okay. Here's an article. Thank you, Ms. Wildwolf, for posting this up here. Let me find there it is. I'll put it next to this. Here's an article about the Ukrainian children. Ukrainian children abducted by Russia and then returned are speaking out. Ukraine says more than 19,000 children have been illegally taken by Russia since the war began. NPR's Leila Fadel speaks out with two teenagers who were abducted from Ukraine. And this is an interview. I wish I had time for this. I'm running out of time here. I encourage you. This is and it's an interview on NPR, Minnesota Public Radio. Here. Oh, it's 7 minutes long. I encourage you to listen. Maybe we'll listen to this tomorrow. But when Russia invaded Ukraine nearly 2 years ago, it didn't just take territory. It separated thousands of Ukrainian children from the only home they've ever known, relocating them to Russia-occupied territory or to Russia itself. Most of those children have not returned. Some who are young adults now, and they're speaking out. Just starting out, where were you when the invasion began? This young, I don't know if it's a boy or girl, named Ksenia. I was living in a foster family in the town of Vovchansk, which is in Kharkiv Oblast, living there with my younger brother. I was finishing school the last year before you go to university, and I was 17 years old at the moment. When the war started, and this other person says, when the war started, straight away, my grandma died, and then my mother. She was taken by the Russian military to some sort of medical facility, a facility they wouldn't tell me what it was. How old were you? I was 16 years old, so I was absolutely alone after that moment that my mother was taken. That's Rostislav Lavrov, who was moved to Russia-occupied Crimea with Ksenia Holden, who was taken to Russia and separated from her brother. I caught up with them after their testimony about this to U.S. lawmakers. At least 19,000 children are still gone, according to Ukrainian officials, but the real number believed to be much higher. They sent to Russian foster families, technical schools, military training, and so-called summer camps with the intention of turning them into Russian citizens. Ukraine's prosecutor general, Andrei Konstant, testified via video recording to that same group of bipartisan lawmakers. So that's interesting. It looks like they've taken unconnected children. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna actually listen to this interview later, so you can listen to the whole thing. It will be in the links today. I have a bevy of other stories in the links today, but clearly I'm not going to get to all of them. But here's this thing. This is again. So this is the trending topic about that slavery thing, though. Trump orders review of Smithsonian slavery focus. Is that what he said? Is that what he said? But this is how it comes out when all these idiots take one line out of the entire post. On August 19, 2025, President Trump sparked outrage by criticizing the Smithsonian Institution's Truth Social, calling it out of control for emphasizing the horrors of slavery in its exhibits. He vowed to order a review. Whoa, wait a minute. It wasn't specifically just that, but that was one of the things on the list anyway. He vowed to order a review of the museums to promote a more positive portrayal of American history, targeting what he deems woke influences. This move echoing his past efforts like the 1776 Commission drew sharp backlash on social media, with critics accusing him of attempting to whitewash the nation's painful past, while supporters praised it as a push of national pride. I haven't seen the people praising it, but I see a lot of people saying slavery is bad. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Y'all a bunch of Sherlock fucking hoes. Anyway, so that's where the controversy came from. I'll do a quick headline list that you can go through on all the links I have open today. Apparently, J.B. Prickster, I'm sorry, I almost said his name wrong. J.B. Prickster, mandated mental health screens for school children is a data grab, not compassion. Apparently, in Illinois, now that once a year, now this is mandated by the education system. He signed a bill which requires all public schools to provide mental health screenings to students in grades 3 through 12. The law meant to provide early identification and intervention so those who are struggling to get help, the help they need as soon as possible. They improve academic and social outcomes. They help to break down the stigma that is too often a barrier to seeking help. You know what? Kids today love to tell you about their mental health problems. They like to label themselves. I'm neurodivergent. I am autistic. I am on the spectrum. Look. Apparently, this is also going to be a data grab, according to this article. So I highly encourage you to read it. I suppose, that's what the guidance counselors are for, to, just check on kids' mental health. I'm kind of curious, though, how they're going to do this and who's going to do it. It's even more important. Who is going to do it is even more important. How many more kids will they decide are trans because of this and not tell their parents, or try to take them away from their parents because their parents are like, hey, no, my kid's not trans. What the fuck's wrong with you? Where did they learn this shit? So anyway, we'll see where that goes. Legal insurrection. Deadly Florida crash suspect is an illegal alien granted a work permit by the Biden administration. Apparently, this guy got a CDL permit in California. He's an illegal immigrant from India, so he's not a Mexican. Because, everyone says, here's an illegal immigrant, and they immediately think Mexican. They're not all from Mexico. They're from all over the world. But got a CDL and then apparently crashed and killed some people. Now, look. If this crash happened because of something related to him being an illegal immigrant, like he couldn't read English or speak English, maybe I'd understand part of it. I'm not so sure why it's important that it's an illegal immigrant, other than if they were, can't read the signs. But he's from India, so most Indians, as in call center, not casino, speak English because it's one of the languages in India. But anyway, he made an illegal U-turn and got some people killed. So a couple articles about him. In fact, Ron DeSantis blames California's sanctuary city policies for deadly crashing Florida caused by an illegal alien truck driver. Yeah, so there's a couple articles on that. Data caller, exclusive. Acting U.S. attorney points out bizarre trend in California over anti-ICE rider cases. It's because they're all Americans. All the anti-ICE rioters that are getting arrested apparently are all Americans. He thinks it's bizarre that it just happens to be. Among the more than 50 suspects charged with crimes stemming from violent protests against federal immigration enforcement in California, the trend is that they're all U.S. citizens committing the violence. So some very passionate U.S. citizens about illegal immigration. Tulsi Gabbard has revoked more than 40 security clearances in the wake of the Russiagate fallout. Good. Whole article on that and a list of who they are. The Daily Wire did this one. This did not translate, so fuck it. No more Daily Wire articles. Report in legal insurrection. Israel rejects Hamas's partial hostage deal, wants release of all captives. So they were going to do a ceasefire for a partial, some of the hostages being released, and have a 60-day ceasefire. Well, Netanyahu said, fuck that. Let's have our hostage back, or we're going to keep killing your asses. Which, that doesn't sound right. But anyway, he said, fuck it. No, we're not. Either release them all and the war will be over, or the ceasefire, fuck you. That's what he said. Not in those words. Thank you, Avocados Diabli. Dropping a small bullet in the tip jar, and you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Sponsor of the Day. Avocados Diabli says, India has 1% of the cars in the world and 10% of the fatalities from cars. Just saying. Yeah. If you've never driven in a foreign land where people only sort of follow the traffic rules, holy shit. You talk about white knuckling. So 1% of the cars, 10% of the traffic fatalities in the world. I'm like, for example, when I went to Nigeria and I'm riding with my sister in the car and she's driving this really nice Mercedes and she's driving through these streets and people don't really follow the traffic rules. And she's like, sometimes the cars are this close together when there's a traffic jam and they're just all trying to squeeze past each other and nobody, it's not like here. They say that white people are American doesn't have a culture. We do have a culture. We have a culture of like obeying traffic rules. I mean, it's, not completely, but like the culture is that we're orderly when it comes to driving. It's not like that everywhere. It's just crazy. And now, when I was driving over to Spain, they had the similar culture where very, very polite traffic people, except they'll honk at you in a heartbeat if you don't go. The second the light turns green, they're already honking like bam, 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 like whatever. Marty, New York City is like Mad Max in slow motion. Yeah, and Nigeria or India are like Mad Max in hyperspeed. It is scary as fuck. Anyway, so thank you. Anyway, Avocados Diabli. Other headlines: New York Post: neighbors hurl anti-Semitic slurs at father of a Georgia woman killed working for Israel's border patrol. Good God. Yeah, a lot of the stuff, anti-Israel stuff, is actually anti-Semitism, and some is about war, but these people throwing anti-Semitic slurs at somebody for that. Also, the New York Post, a stranger told me I was sending my kids to a Nazi camp, shows how much mainstream anti-Jew hate has become. My children go to a Zionist Jewish summer camp. It's the kind of place that instills pride in Jewish identity. And love for Israel, giving my kids normal joys of camp, canoeing, hiking, and endless games of soccer. But on the last Friday before the session ended, the kids and staff experienced a scare that revealed just how fragile Jewish life in America has become. During a live stream ceremony, paragliders appeared over the campus. They swooped low and panicked ripped through the crowd. For most American campers, it was confusing for the Israeli staff and campers. Many of the children directly impacted by the October 7th attacks near Gaza. The sight was terrifying. This happened. Yeah, this happened. Holy shit, that's terrible. That's terrible. So it's a whole story on that. Thank you, Ty Alexander. Drop a $2.30 the tip jar, and you are now.
You are the new
Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Tyre says, honestly, P, I don't trust anything coming out of Ukraine. They prove they can't be trusted and will lie to get more dollars. This is Joker and Lex fighting over a victim. They aren't fighting to see if the victim lives or dies, but who gets to kill them? Well, that sounds pretty accurate. Anyway, happy Bacon Day. Breitbart, major win for England. Anti-mass migration protests as judge orders Epping migrant hotel to be shut down. We talked about that the other day. So they're shutting down that hotel that they were protesting. National Post, London officials are tearing down English flags. Flags. Yeah, some of these mayors in the towns that have become run by the religion of peace, they're taking down the English flag. I keep saying flag. You can read about that. That West Texas measles outbreaks ended. And so the Federalist has an article foiling media's efforts to make it the next pandemic, because it was never going to be. Here's a Daily Wire, archived article. Stats are in. DC crime is already dramatically lower after the Trump crackdown. So they have, I guess they have some results. The DC police union, DC crime since the announcement of federal control versus the 7 days prior. Robberies down 46%. I don't know what ADW is. Someone tell me what ADW is. Down 6%. Carjacking down 83%. Car theft down 21%. Violent crime down 22%. Property crime down 6%. All crime down 8%. So there you go. All right. You can read the story on your own. Daily Pulse, DOJ investigates the manipulation of crime stats by the DC police leaders. Yeah, why do you say your crime is down 20? Something with a deadly weapon. Assault with a deadly weapon. That's what it is. Now the DOJ is going to investigate crime reporting in DC because, they say crime is down 26%, except if you live in a high crime area in DC, you're like, it's down? It's down? Lying motherfuckers. Breitbart, Seattle police chief was yards away when $2 million smash and grab occurred at a jewelry store. It's Seattle. What do you expect? Raw video, thieves ransack West Seattle jewelry store. The police chief was 2 blocks away. Or yards away, it says. Breitbart, I don't give a shit. Cop shuts down prosecutor's pathetic power trip, throws her drunk ass and her friend in jail. Yeah, is this the one in Rhode Island? Yeah, it is. Special Assistant Attorney General Devin Hogan Flanagan of Rhode Island had been asked to leave a restaurant before local police were called to the scene. She tried to do one of these. Do you know who I am? Do you know how much trouble you're going to be in for arresting me? Hey, don't be a drunk ass in public and we won't arrest your ass. Dumbass. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff here, but I can't get to it because I really got to be done. So what I'm going to do. Oh, were there more people? We already got the more people sharing the stream. What I'm going to do is drop these links in the chat. Let's just do that. There's a bunch of links of stuff that I didn't get to, which, that happens every day because I found a lot of stuff to talk about today, just in case. But, when you're late, then you can't talk about everything anyway. Hello, Rick Ashbringer. I see you. You made it. What's up, man? All right, so here you go. Here's the links for today. And Avocados Diablo. Oh, my gosh. I was worried. You missed the... Look, AD, just now that you're here, I'm not sure when you got here. Now that you're here, the Hump Day links, or the Hump Day tags today on the links, I couldn't scroll very far, but you might enjoy that. So there's, I mean, even started out with some stuff, but I started scrolling like, oh shit, I can't scroll that far. But you know, you're kind of into that shit. So there you go. All right, guys, that's it. I got to go. Thanks for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'm here all these days that I'm here, usually the weekdays, sometimes occasional weekend stream, but it's rare. I am putting the links in the description also, which I just did, and there we go. And so it's everywhere you want it to be or needs to be. So you can find it later. Every day I put it in the description of that daily stream. So that's it. Got to go. Thanks. My name is PDawgKnight. I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a lovely day. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.